Have you felt it? It's there, even now, as you lie in the quiet, your mind perhaps still humming with the leftover static of the day, your body a landscape of familiar aches and tired weights. Under the heavy blanket of your mental to-do lists, beneath the chatter of the day's unresolved conversations, under the sigh of your muscles seeking oblivion in sleep, there is a pulse of awareness that is untouched by it all. It's the silent witness, the one that hears the chatter, feels the sigh, notices the very craving for sleep. It doesn't try to fix your fatigue. It doesn't analyze your dreams or strategize for tomorrow. It doesn't even care if you're rested or not. It simply is aware, present, a constant, gentle illumination, like a single candle in a vast, dark cathedral that never flickers, never goes out, regardless of the ceremonies of joy or grief happening in the nave. We spend our lives, our energy, our very sense of self, identifying with the parts that get tired, the body that aches and demands, the mind that spins stories of lack and worry, the heart that feels heavy with the gravity of love and loss. We believe we are those things, and so, when they are weary, we believe we are at our end, that our very essence is depleted. But that's the fundamental, beautiful illusion. You are not the wave that rises, crests with frantic effort, and crashes, spent and dissolving, upon the shore. You are the ocean itself, vast, deep, silent, and containing the wave. The wave tires. The ocean does not. The wave has a beginning and an end. The ocean simply is. Hello, it's Sarah. Welcome to Nightform Stillness. Tonight, we're not going to add another item to the list of things you're trying to fix. We're not going to give you a technique to make the weary parts rest, though rest is precious. We're going to practice something far more profound and ultimately more restful than any technique. We're going to shift our allegiance. We're going to turn the ship of our attention away from the drama of the crashing, frantic wave and toward the deep, silent, powerful water that holds it. We're going to get intimately acquainted with the part of you that never, ever rests. Think of the last time you were utterly, bone-deep exhausted, and yet, in that haze, you could still hear a distant sound, a clock ticking with metronomic patience, the wind tracing the edge of the window, your own breath moving in and out like a tide you don't command. In that moment, there were two distinct things happening: the exhaustion, a thick, felt experience, and the awareness of the exhaustion. The exhaustion is temporary, a state that comes and goes. The awareness is constant, the very field in which the state arises and passes away. That awareness is what we're speaking of. It is the silent, blank screen upon which the movie of your life, with all its thrilling plots and tedious scenes, is projected. It was there for your first breath. It will be there for your last. It is the unwavering consciousness that is reading these words right now. This part of you doesn't need rest because it is not made of the stuff that gets tired. It is not physical matter subject to decay. It is not emotional energy subject to depletion. It is not a thought subject to change. It is conscious space itself, pure, empty, intelligent capacity. And you can find it not by building something, but by subtracting everything else. You can find it right now. Close your eyes if you wish. Listen to the sounds around you, the hum, the creak, the distant world. Now, ask yourself gently, who is listening? Don't answer with your name, your role, your history. Don't answer at all. Just feel for the listening presence itself. That silent, open, spacious awareness that receives the sound, that is it. That is the part of you that never rests. It is what is looking out from behind your eyes. Feel the profound, cellular relief of this. Your body can be a sack of exhaustion, and that is okay. It is a condition passing through. Your mind can be a tangled knot of unfinished business, and that is okay. It is weather in your sky. Your heart can feel tender, bruised, or lonely, and that is okay. It is a feeling moving through the vastness of your being. These are all temporary guests in the house of your awareness. They are not the house itself. You are the room, not the furniture. You are the sky, not the passing storm. So tonight, let's practice being the room. Let's practice being the sky. Let the tired thoughts be like old chairs pushed into the corner. Let the heavy feelings be like dark clouds drifting through the expanse. You don't have to clean the room. You don't have to dispel the clouds. Your only sacred job is to remember that you are the boundless, welcoming space that allows them to exist. And in that remembering, in that gentle shift of identity from the content to the container, you will touch a peace that does not come and go with circumstances. A peace that has never rested because it has never, for a single second, been disturbed. It is your original face before you were born. And it is here now, waiting for you to recognize it as your own. Knowing of this silent, untiring awareness is one thing. Abiding as it is another. It's like being told there is a constant, gentle sun behind the clouds, a fact that brings intellectual comfort. But to feel its unwavering warmth directly on your skin, to know it with your whole being, that requires the clouds to part, if only for a moment. Problem is, We are so accustomed to living in the weather of our thoughts and feelings that we mistake the clouds for the sky itself. We believe the storm is all there is. The second movement is this: we must learn to distinguish the weather from the sky. The part of you that never rests is the sky, vast, clear, and fundamentally unchanging. Your tiredness, your worries, your busy plans, those are clouds. Some are light and wispy. Some are dark and heavy with rain. But they are all temporary formations passing through. They are in the sky. They are not the sky. When you feel soul tired, it's because you've been staring at a single, massive, oppressive cloud for so long you forgot there's a sky at all. You've plastered yourself against its damp, gray surface, believing it defines your entire reality. The exhaustion is the strain of trying to hold up the cloud, or fight it, or become one with it. So tonight, let's practice meteorology of the spirit. We're going to step back from the cloud. Start by feeling the most prominent cloud in your inner weather system right now. Is it the dense, low pressure of anxiety, the chilly fog of sadness, the scattered, racing cirrus of mental lists? Name it to yourself. This is a cloud of worry. This is a cloud of overwhelm. Now, instead of focusing on the cloud's content, the specific thoughts or stories, feel its qualities as a weather event. Is it heavy or light, hot or cold, moving quickly or sitting stagnant? Just observe its texture and temperature as a phenomenon. Now, for the crucial shift, ask yourself, what is aware of this cloud? Not what thinks about it, but what simply knows it is there. Feel for the space around the cloud, the awareness that contains it. That is your sky. Try this. Close your eyes. Visualize the cloud of your feeling, a dark mass in your chest, a gray static in your head. Now, in your mind's eye, slowly expand your view. See the cloud not as everything, but as an object. See the space above it, the space below it, the space to its sides. That expansive, empty, allowing space is a metaphor for your true nature, the aware, silent witness. The cloud is a guest in that space. It is not the host. This practice doesn't make the cloud disappear. A storm doesn't vanish because you remember the sky, but it radically changes your relationship to it. You are no longer lost in the storm. You are the vastness holding the storm. From this perspective, the storm's power to define you, to exhaust your very essence, is broken. You can feel the rain, hear the thunder, but you know, with a certainty deeper than thought, that you are not made of rain or thunder. You are the space in which they occur. Abide here as the sky. Rest back into this knowing. The weariness belongs to the cloud forms, the body, the mind, the emoting heart. Let them be weary. Your job is not to cure their weariness tonight. Your job is to remember what you are behind and beneath and beyond all that. The untiring, spacious, luminous sky of awareness. And in that remembering, even the heaviest cloud begins to lose its terrible, personal weight. It becomes just weather. And you are the peace that watches all weather come and go. Abiding as the sky, you watch the clouds. You feel the profound relief of not being the storm. But the mind, ever the clever storyteller, may soon co-opt even this peace. It whispers, "This is good. You are the sky. Now you must be a clear sky. You must maintain this spaciousness. Don't let the clouds gather. This is your new job." And just like that, the limitless, untiring awareness gets turned into a new project. The open sky becomes a yard to be kept tidy, and you are back in the role of the weary groundskeeper, anxiously watching for the first wisp of gray. This is the third, and perhaps most subtle, crossing, freeing the sky from the groundskeeper. The part of you that never rests is not a state to be achieved or maintained. It is the fundamental ground of your being. It doesn't need your protection from clouds. It doesn't need your management. Trying to manage, it is like the ocean trying to keep its surface perfectly still. It is a futile effort that creates its own kind of exhaustion. The truth is, the sky includes the clouds. The awareness includes the thoughts. The silence includes the sound. They are not opposites at war. The cloud is not a stain on the sky. It is an expression of it, made of the same essential elements, momentarily condensed. Your tired thought is not an intruder in awareness. It is a ripple on awareness, made of awareness itself. Hello again. It's Sarah. Tonight, we go beyond even being the watcher. We move into non-dual seeing. We're not just shifting identity from the cloud to the sky. We're dissolving the sense that they are two separate things. This is where real, effortless rest lives. Let's try a direct experience. Close your eyes. Listen to a sound in your environment. The hum of appliances, the distant traffic, the sound of your own breath. Now, instead of thinking, "I am here," listening to that sound out there, try to feel. Where does the sound actually happen? Does it happen out there by the wall, or in here between your ears? Trace it. You'll find it's impossible to locate a boundary. The vibration of air touches your eardrum, becomes an electrical signal, becomes a perception in consciousness. The entire event, the source, the vibration, the hearing, is one seamless happening within the field of your awareness. The sound isn't in the silence. It is the silence, vibrating in a particular way. Now, apply this to a thought. A tired thought arises. I can't do this anymore. Instead of seeing it as your thought inside your head, see it as a momentary formation in the field of awareness, like a bird's call in the forest. It arises from silence, is made of the knowing of it, and dissolves back into silence. Can you find where you end and the thought begins? You can't. The thought is known by awareness. That's all. This is the key. You are not the sky watching the cloud. You are the totality, sky and cloud, silence and sound, awareness and thought, all as one, seamless, living reality. The part of you that never rests is not a part at all. It is the whole. It is the suchness of this moment, exactly as it is, before you split it into me and my experience. From here, the groundskeeper can be dismissed. There is nothing to guard, nothing to maintain. A storm can rage, and it is the sky being stormy. A profound peace can descend, and it is the sky being calm. Both are its natural expressions. You are that. You are the capacity for all of it, and the suchness of whatever is appearing. So rest as this totality. Let the tired thoughts come. They are just the aware space, taking the shape of tired thought for a little while. Don't follow them. Don't push them. Don't even welcome them. Just let them be what they are, temporary modulations of your own endless, restless being. In this allowing, the struggle ceases. The exhaustion of maintaining a separate, peaceful self drops away, and what remains is not a blank void, but a vibrant, alive, intelligent presence that is already completely and eternally at rest, not because it is empty, but because it is everything and at peace with being so. From that space of seamless totality, where the sky and the cloud are known as one substance, where the watcher and the watched dissolve, a new and curious sensation can arise. It's not peace, nor is it turbulence. It's a kind of luminous emptiness, a vibrant, intelligent stillness that feels both utterly void and completely full. This is the fourth knowing. The part of you that never rests is also the part that never moves. It is the still axis at the center of the spinning world of your experience. Not a thing that is still, but stillness itself as a fundamental quality of being. We chase experiences, peace, joy, connection, thinking they will complete us. But this silent axis is not an experience. It is the experiencer. It is the unmoved mover, the constant amidst the inconstant. Imagine a wheel spinning furiously. The spokes and rim are a blur of motion, but the hub at the center is perfectly still. Your thoughts, emotions, and sensations are the spinning rim. Your silent, aware presence is the unmoving hub. The fatigue you feel is the dizziness of identifying only with the blur. To touch this hub is to discover an unshakable stability. It doesn't matter how fast the wheel spins, how rough the terrain, the hub's position is unchanged. Your life circumstances may be chaotic, your mind a whirlwind, but this central stillness remains untouched. It doesn't get involved in the drama. It doesn't weigh in on the decisions. It simply is, providing the reference point around which everything else turns. Hello, it's Sarah again. Tonight, we go to the center. We've seen we are the whole wheel. Now, we find the hub within the whole. This is the source of true, unassailable rest. Let's find it experientially. Sit quietly. Feel the sensations in your body, the pressure of the seat, the air on your skin, the subtle hum of aliveness. Notice how all sensations are in a gentle state of flux, even the seemingly solid ones. Now, feel for what is aware of all these changing sensations. Not a thought that says, I am aware, but the aware space itself. This space does not have a temperature. It does not have a location. It does not come or go. It is simply that which knows. Now go deeper. Ask, what is aware of even this aware space? This question isn't meant to be answered logically. It's a pointer, like a finger pointing at the moon. Don't look at the finger, look where it's pointing. It points you back to the source of awareness itself, the witness of the witness. This is the hub. It is awareness aware of itself, not aware of something, but pure awareness knowing its own nature. In this recognition, there is often a profound sense of coming home, a deep aha that is felt rather than thought. This is you, recognizing yourself as the still, silent center that has been here all along. It is not excited by joy. It is not crushed by sorrow. It is the unwavering ground of being upon which the entire drama of your life plays out. From this hub, you can watch the spinning wheel of your life with compassion, but without being dizzy. You can feel the body's tiredness without becoming it. You can hear the mind's anxious plans without being drafted into its army. You are the still center, and in that stillness, there is a power greater than any action, the power of presence, of pure being. Tonight, practice resting as the hub. Not trying to stop the wheel's spin, that's the groundskeeper's old job. Just abiding as the unmoved, silent center. Let the thoughts spin. Let the feelings rise and fall. Let the body ache or relax. Your identity is no longer tangled in the motion. You are the still point, the part that never rests because it is prior to activity and inactivity. It is the silent, luminous emptiness from which all things arise and to which all things return. And it is what you most truly are. Abiding as the still hub, the silent axis, brings a profound and paradoxical sense of both emptiness and intimacy. You are no longer lost in the spin, yet you are not distant from it. You are its source and its center. From this vantage point, a tender realization dawns. The part of you that never rests is also the part that loves without condition. This is not the love of attachment, of wanting or needing something from the other. It is not the exhausted love that says, I give until I have nothing left. That is the love of the spinning rim, giving from its own momentum until it frays. The love of the hub is different. It is a radiating, silent affection for all that arises within its sphere, simply because it does arise. It is the love of the sky for the cloud, not because the cloud is beautiful or useful, but because the cloud is an expression of the sky itself. It is the love of awareness for the thought, for the feeling, for the sensation, an unconditional allowing, a gentle embrace that asks for nothing in return. When you are soul tired, it is often because you have been trying to love from the rim. You have been giving from your limited store of energy, your personal history, your need for reciprocity or recognition. That love, however beautiful, is exhaustible. It is a verb that requires a subject and an object. But the love of the hub is a state of being. It is the inherent warmth and welcome of consciousness itself. It doesn't give love, it is love as its fundamental nature. Hello again. It's Sarah. Tonight, we explore the most healing quality of your untiring essence, its unconditional embrace. This is the love that remains when you are too tired to love anymore. It is the love you have been seeking from everything and everyone else, not realizing it is the very substance you are made of. Let's feel into this. Return to your sense of being the still center, the aware hub. From this quiet, spacious center, bring to mind something simple within your present experience. The feeling of your own hand, the sound of the quiet room, a memory of a neutral object like a tree you saw today. Now, from your hub, simply allow that thing to be exactly as it is. Don't judge it. Don't analyze it. Don't try to feel a certain way about it. Just let it exist in the field of your awareness. Feel the quality of that allowing. Is it not a kind of kindness, a gentle, permission-giving energy? That is the love of the hub. It is not an emotion of passion. It is the action-less action of total acceptance. Now turn that same allowing toward a part of yourself that feels weary or flawed. The tired mind, the anxious heart, the self-critical thought. Can you, from your center, simply allow it to be there? Can you give it space to exist without needing it to change? This is the most profound self-love there is. It is not about pumping yourself up with affirmations. It is about ceasing to war with what is present within you. It is the hub loving the rim exactly as it spins, however erratically. This love does not tire because it is not an effort. It is not something you do. It is what you are when you stop doing everything else. It is the natural radiance of your own presence. When you feel too drained to care for anyone, even yourself, it is this love that remains, waiting for you to stop and rest as it. You don't need to generate it. You need to surrender into it. So tonight, rest as this loving awareness. Let your tiredness be loved by the silence. Let your worries be held in the gentle embrace of the space that knows them. You are not a person trying to muster love from an empty well. You are the well itself, and the water is pure, silent, accepting presence. And that presence loves whatever is placed within it, the broken jug, the thirsty lips, the reflected stars, with the same untiring, impartial grace. This is your true nature, not a lover, but love itself. This unconditional, untiring love, the silent embrace of the hub for all that spins upon it, holds a secret, a quiet alchemy. When the weary, broken, or anxious parts of you are not just witnessed, but are held in this non-judgmental, allowing awareness, something within them begins to relax. Not because they are being fixed, but because they are finally being seen without an agenda. The love of the hub is a field of permission so complete that the defensive knots tied by the spinning rim, the knots of I must be better, this is wrong, I can't show this, begin slowly to loosen. This is the sixth phase. The part of you that never rests is the great integrator. It is the space where fragmentation comes to wholeness. Your exhaustion is not just from effort, but from the immense energy required to keep parts of yourself separate, to hide your vulnerability, to deny your anger, to silence your true voice. You have been a divided kingdom at war with itself, and the cost of that civil war is soul-deep fatigue. The silent, loving awareness does not take sides in the war. It simply welcomes all the exiled citizens home. Think of your awareness as a vast, quiet room. You've been shoving certain feelings, anger, grief, fear, a childish need into the closet and sitting against the door, exhausted from holding it shut. The love of the hub is not about flinging the door open and letting a monster loose. It is about turning around, sitting on the floor facing the closet, and whispering, "It's okay. You can come out. I'm not afraid of you anymore." The energy you spent holding the door shut is now freed. The monster, when seen in the gentle light of acceptance, often turns out to be just a lost, lonely part of you that never wanted to cause harm, only to be acknowledged. Hello, you. It's Sarah. Tonight, we move from embrace to integration. We allow the untiring, loving core of our being to begin the silent work of making us whole again. Bring to mind a feeling or part of yourself you often try to disown. It might be your impatience, your envy, a sense of helplessness, a childish fear. Don't dive into its story. Just feel its energy as a sensation in your body, a clench, a hollow, a heat, a chill. Now, from your hub, your still, loving center, direct the light of your attention toward that sensation. Not to change it, not to analyze it, simply to surround it with the same unconditional allowance you'd give to a sound in the night. Imagine your awareness as a warm, liquid light, bathing that clenched or hollow place. You are not fixing a problem. You are keeping company with a long ignored guest. As you do this, you might notice a subtle shift. The clench might soften a degree. The hollow might feel less like a void and more like a space. This is integration. It is the separated part feeling the welcome of the whole and beginning to relax into it. The energy that was bound up in keeping it separate is released back into your system as vitality, as peace. This is how the part that never rests restores you. It doesn't fight your fractures. It fills them with presence. It doesn't demand that you be whole. Its very nature is wholeness. And by resting as it, you allow its wholeness to seep into your fragmented experience. So tonight, practice this gentle integration. Choose one small, exiled feeling. Invite it into the room of your awareness. Don't ask it to be different. Just let it sit by the fire of your attention. Your silent, untiring essence knows how to do this. It is the master weaver, patiently drawing the frayed threads of your experience back into the tapestry of a single, coherent being. And with each thread welcomed home, you will feel a lightness, a deeper rest. That is the true end of exhaustion. As you practice this gentle integration, welcoming the exiled feelings into the warm, allowing space of awareness, you may notice the process itself begins to slow. The deliberate inviting, the focused bathing in attention, starts to feel like more doing. A subtle effort. The mind, ever eager to turn wisdom into work, whispers, "Am I doing this right? Is it integrated yet? What's next to welcome?" It tries to make a project of wholeness. This is the seventh and deeply liberating realization. The part of you that never rests is not a therapist. It is reality itself. It does not achieve integration. It is integration. Wholeness is not a future state you are patiently assembling like a puzzle. It is the timeless, ever-present ground of your being, momentarily overlooked because you were fascinated by the scattered puzzle pieces. All this time, you've been trying to gather the pieces. The love, the stillness, the awareness, these were not tools to achieve wholeness. They are the wholeness, pretending to be tools so your seeking mind could finally understand and stop seeking. The hub is not a means to a better rim. The hub and the rim were never two. The silent sky was never separate from the cloud. You've been whole all along, but experiencing yourself through the narrow lens of a single, lonely puzzle piece called the seeker or the tired one. Hello, it's Sarah. Tonight, we let go of the final layer of seeking. We cease the project of self-improvement, even the spiritual kind. We aren't moving toward wholeness. We are remembering we never left it. Let this sink in. You are not a broken thing needing repair. You are the pristine workshop where the illusion of brokenness is seen and dissolved. The fatigue you feel is the exhaustion of the illusion itself, straining to maintain its convincing story. So how do you practice non-practice? You don't. You simply notice what is already always true. Right now, feel the sensations in your body, the sounds in the room, the flow of your breath. Now, instead of focusing on any one thing, open your attention to the entirety of the experience. Don't label parts as body, sound, breath. Just feel the one, seamless, living tapestry of sensation, sound, and knowing. In this open, panoramic awareness, can you find a separate you having this experience? Or is there just the experience happening aware of itself? This is the wholeness. It is not a feeling of perfection. It is the simple, undeniable fact that all these perceptions are appearing within one single conscious field, and that field is what you are. The tired thought is part of the field. The peaceful silence between thoughts is part of the field. They are equal expressions of the whole. From this recognition, a profound relaxation occurs. The controller, the one who was trying to meditate, to integrate, to become peaceful, is seen as just another temporary shape in the field. It is granted amnesty. It can rest. There is no one to improve because the improver was a fiction. You are the wholeness. You are the part that never rests, and you are also all the parts that do. You are the silence and the noise, the love and the fear, the hub and the entire spinning wheel. There is no outside. There is no other. Rest here as this, not as an achievement, but as a surrender into what has always been so. The search is over. You were the home you sought. The untiring essence was never a part of you. It is all of you. And in this all, there is finally, completely, nothing to do and nowhere to go. Just this. And this is more than enough. in the silent, radiant truth of that wholeness. The understanding that you are the seamless field, the all-encompassing reality, the last ghost of separation may make its final, wistful appearance. It is the ghost of time, the quiet voice that says, "Yes, this is beautiful now. But what about tomorrow, when the alarm rings, when the demands return, when the old triggers appear? Will I remember? Will this wholeness hold?" It is the fear of the eternal present collapsing back into the linear story of a fragile self navigating a difficult future. This is the eighth and most practical sanctuary. The part of you that never rests is also the part that is always now. It does not exist in time. It is the timeless substrate upon which time itself is perceived. Past and future are thoughts, images, sensations appearing within this present awareness. Your fear of losing it tomorrow is a future-based thought appearing right now. The part of you that knows that fear is the timeless itself, untouched by the story it witnesses. Wholeness isn't a state you enter and might exit. It is the dimension you are. You can no more lose your wholeness tomorrow than the sky can lose its blueness. You might become completely absorbed in the clouds of thought and forget the sky, but the sky hasn't gone anywhere. It is still the fundamental condition, patiently waiting for your recognition. It's Sarah. Tonight, we anchor the infinite into the immanent. We take the timeless knowing and let it bless the very idea of tomorrow. Instead of trying to hold on to this peace, we do the opposite. We recognize that peace, the untiring, whole awareness, is what holds us. It is not a delicate feeling in your heart to be protected. It is the very space in which your heart beats. You don't carry it into tomorrow. It carries tomorrow and you within it. So let's practice for the dawn. Bring to mind a simple, mundane task you will do tomorrow. Making a cup of tea, opening a door, taking a first step outside. Now, as you imagine that future moment, feel for the awareness that is imagining it right now. That awareness is the same awareness that will be present when the action actually happens. The tea steaming, door opening, step taking will all happen within this same knowing presence that is reading these words. The contents of the moment will change. The conscious space in which they appear does not. This is your anchor, not a memory of a peaceful state, but the immediate, ever-present fact of your own aware being. Tomorrow, when stress arises, you won't need to remember a teaching from a video. You will simply need to pause and ask, what is aware of this stress right now? The moment you ask, you have shifted from being lost in the content, the stress, to resting as the context, the awareness. It is an instant homecoming, available in any future moment, because the doorway is your own present attention. The part of you that never rests is not a weekend retreat. It is your 24/7 home address. You are not a visitor to peace who must return to the world. You are peace, incarnated as a person moving through the world. The world may be noisy, but you are the silence that hears the noise. The body may be tired, but you are the wakefulness that knows the tiredness. So tonight, rest as this timeless host of all your coming days. Let go of the burden of having to maintain anything. You are the maintainer, the foundation, the now that never leaves. And from this unshakable now, you can meet any then with a grace that is not your own effort, but the natural expression of what you have always been and will always be, whole, aware, and utterly at home in the eternal present. From that unshakable knowing that you are the timeless now, the host of all moments to come, a final, gentle curiosity might arise. Not a fear, but a wonder. If this untiring awareness is what you most fundamentally are, and it is whole, complete, and lacking nothing, what is this human life for? If the destination is discovered to be the starting point, what is the purpose of the journey? If you are the ocean, why be a wave? This is not the old, desperate search for meaning born of lack. It is a quiet question from fullness. It is the ninth and most creative invitation. The part of you that never rests is the source of authentic play. Having realized you are the canvas, you are free to paint. Having remembered you are the instrument, you can now make music without fear of breaking. The exhaustion came from believing you were the painting, fragile and judged, or that you were the specific note, destined to fade. But you are the capacity for all color and all sound. And from that freedom, action is no longer a burden of becoming. It is an expression of being. Your human life is not a test to pass for a resting soul. It is the soul's chosen adventure, its preferred masterpiece of experience. The tiredness was the friction of living that adventure, while believing it was a grim test for a separate, insufficient self. Now, knowing your true nature as the untiring awareness, you can engage with life as a conscious artist, not a desperate laborer. Hello, you, it's Sarah. Tonight, we move from realization to celebration. We explore the joy of being the unchanging source of change. Think of a simple activity you do that, when you're identified as a weary self, feels like a chore. Washing a dish, folding laundry, walking to your car. Now, reimagine it from the perspective of the untiring awareness you are. You are not a person who has to wash a dish. You are the conscious space in which the sensation of warm water, the sight of light on soap bubbles, the sound of clinking ceramics are all appearing. You are not doing a chore. You are experiencing the rich phenomenon of dishwashing. From this perspective, there is no burden, only a flowing tapestry of sensation. The activity happens through you, as you, for the sake of experience itself. This is play, pure, undirected engagement with the sensory reality of life, free from the story of I need this to be over, or this proves my worth. The part of you that never rests doesn't play to achieve. It plays to express, to explore, to know itself in form. So tonight, on the eve of a new day, set a simple, playful intention. Not a goal to reach, but a quality to embody from your core of awareness. Perhaps your intention is curiosity. Tomorrow, you will let yourself be curious about one mundane thing, the pattern of steam from your coffee, the tone of a colleague's voice, the feeling of your own hand on a doorknob. You will engage with it not to understand or use it, but simply because awareness is inherently curious about its own manifestations. Or perhaps your intention is appreciation. You will allow yourself to appreciate one uselessly beautiful thing, the way shadow defines a shape, the complexity of a weed growing through pavement, the absurd perfection of a dust mote in a sunbeam. This is how the untiring essence lives a human life, not by withdrawing from the world, but by meeting the world as its own joyful self-expression. The fatigue of obligation is replaced by the vitality of participation. You are no longer trying to build a self worthy of rest. You are the eternal rest, dancing. Rest now in this playful potential. Tomorrow is not a demand. It is an invitation to a game where you cannot lose, because you are both the player and the field, and the only rule is to be openly, authentically, curiously alive. And here, in the playful, open curiosity of your untiring essence, we arrive at the silent conclusion that is not an end, but a full circle. We began with a soul whispering of its fatigue, and we end with the liberating recognition. The fatigue was the echo of a forgotten truth. The truth is, you are the echo-less silence itself. The part of you that never rests was never a part at all. It is the whole. It is the aware, loving, timeless presence that you have always been, effortlessly being the sky for every cloud, the hub for every spin, the silence for every sound. The journey wasn't about finding something new, but about shedding the layers of belief that you were something small, something temporary, something that could be exhausted. You are not a candle that can burn out. You are the light by which the candle is seen. This realization is not a trophy to place on a shelf. It is the ground you now walk upon. It is the air you breathe. From this ground, life is lived not as a problem to be solved, but as a reality to be inhabited fully, sensitively, playfully. You will still feel the human sensations of tiredness, but they will no longer terrify you with the story of fundamental depletion. You will feel them as weather in your sky, knowing the sky remains vast and clear behind it all. Hello, you. It is Sarah. This is our final shared exploration in this night. We have traveled from the cry of weariness to the peace of knowing our own inexhaustible nature. If this space, Nightform Stillness, has been a companion on that journey, a voice reminding you of the silence within, then its purpose is fulfilled. But the conversation does not end when the video does. It continues in the quiet confidence of your step, in the patience of your breath, in the space you hold for yourself and others. You carry the stillness now, not as a memory, but as your fundamental state. If this reflection of your true nature has been a sanctuary, you can help it remain one for others. Please consider subscribing to the channel. By subscribing, you add your resonance to this quiet frequency, helping it reach others who are listening for their own echo-less truth in the night. And if a moment here felt like a key turning in the lock of your own understanding, please share it. Share it with someone who is in the thick of their own soul tiredness, who feels their light is guttering. Your share might be the gentle reminder that the light they seek is not outside, but is the very awareness with which they search. The rest they crave is in the remembering of what they already always are. Thank you, not for listening, but for being the silence that listened, the awareness that perceived, the love that allowed. This is Sarah. The stillness we spoke of is you. It always was. Go in peace, not as someone who found rest, but as the rest that was never lost, now knowing itself